Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is episode 17 of Noy Author series, and today we have with us Musart Ellahi. She's an author, she's an award-winning inspirational speaker, she's a mindset coach, and she's also a TV host. And let's find out more from Musart herself. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we have Musart Ellahi with us. She's an author, she's a mindset coach, she's an international award-winning inspirational speaker, and she's a TV host. And let's talk out more from Musart herself. Welcome Musart, thank you for accepting my invite and welcome to my show.
It's a great honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me on here. I can see you've done a lot of amazing work where you're interviewing lots of women and just taking those golden nuggets from everyone.
Yeah, you all
helping the
inspire me,
audience.
each of you inspire me, and I always take back something from the interview. So it's really great. I mean, whatever I'm doing, as in the show, I just see my reward is what I learn and connect with these wonderful women out there and what all you are doing in the society. So tell us more about yourself. How does your day look like in pandemic? We know we are in pandemic from past 1.5 years, and life has changed for all of us. So how has it affected you? How it has affected your work, and how are you coping up with it?
Well, with the pandemic, I would say I think it was a big shock for all of us because actually at the beginning of the pandemic, I had a few book launches and where I was supposed to go and do talks for my older book, not my new book. So that all got cancelled the last moment. It's like everything just kept getting cancelled. And yeah, it was a bit devastating at first because this was something that I was looking forward to for a while. To like having that break where you think, yeah, I've got this break now where I'm going to have a platform and slowly build it from there. Sorry about the siren, but the thing is, you had the siren earlier, but I think everything just kept shutting down, and I think it was just a big shock to everybody actually, because I don't think anybody was expecting. Um, I think there was a bit of fear and there was a bit of lots
Anxiety.
of anxiety. Yeah,
Yeah.
anxiety because we don't know what we're dealing with,
Yeah.
and especially with children leaving school, and it's like the whole burden of teaching and everything. I think it just
All on the
collapsed.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah, all on the parents. So what I learned to do was I just thought, what I teach as a coach is to we have to stay in the present. We have to learn to enjoy the present rather than worrying about the future. And the main thing at the time was to be grateful in the present fact that, okay, we have enough food, we have enough money to pay the bills. My daughter thought, okay, I was at the beginning, I was very like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this, and this. And then at a point, I just let go. I said, no, do you know what? It's just too much stress for the children as well. I think if we are going to be focusing on that stress, we're not going to get through this period. But alhamdulillah, like I said, those 3 months, I'd say, I don't know, I think everybody, it seemed like the longest months of our lives because we don't know what was going on. We don't know what we were expecting. And I think we are very lucky in living in Europe, in the fact that we had the ability to freeze our mortgages, freeze
Yeah.
your rent, freeze any bills that are going out that you can't afford at this time. So I think that was the biggest blessing in disguise. My husband, obviously, he's an Uber driver, so his job completely stopped. The government was helping, obviously, with funding and stuff like that. So everything that I was doing, I think I just put a break on it. I just said, you know what, this can happen later. And it actually taught me something for the fact that because I was in this rat race for the last couple of years that, oh, we always have to keep doing something. We always have to keep achieving something. But I think I wouldn't say it's made me lazy, but I'd say the pandemic has made me more relaxed about my decisions and to realize, if things aren't happening now, there's maybe a benefit in it. And it's so true. When things don't happen when you want them to happen and they happen a bit later on, you always see the benefit in it that, actually, um, that weight has its that the weight is the biggest issue, but I think the thing not working out has its own blessing.
Yeah.
For example, we might go out and say we need this desperate loan or something, just giving a very vague example, and then it doesn't work out, but later on we realize that loan could have affected us in many other ways that we couldn't afford. And it could have put us in a, and then later on, I don't know, I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you a better sustenance, and you realize, hang on a second, if I had a loan, all this sustenance would have been going towards that loan. But the
Yeah.
main thing is that we need to go back to our creator and ask him, or the universe, whoever you believe in, this is what we need, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for some people who were going on a very high speed, it slowed them down. You need
Yeah,
that break and, reflection, and you needed that time for yourself.
yeah,
And for me, I was living in my shell, so it helped me to come out of it. It's like enough
mm,
of being in the shell. It's a
yeah,
cozy place, it's a comfortable place, but it's also like a place where you kill yourself. You won't do anything because the comfort is so addictive.
exactly, exactly.
So it helped me to come out of that shell, and I see like people who were highly, achievers and all, they slowed down and they reflected and they took their time and they're doing better now. It's
Yeah,
like I see them doing different things and bringing, really nice content.
yeah. And I think also it's a nice break, to be honest, for once, not to be worrying about. I just, to be honest, what we did was we just chilled and watched Atragol, and we just cooked good food,
Yeah.
and we just binge watched so much TV, went on walks as a family, which we never ever got to do because we were always busy. I think we got to reflect and talk more and realize, what, this is so important in life. And I think one thing I'm really lucky is I didn't fight with my spouse at all in those 3 months. Normally we
Yeah.
have silly bickering and arguments, stuff like that, but I think you become more sensitive towards each other, and you realize, and you don't know what the future is going to hold. I don't know how long you're going to have with each other because of the way the COVID was scared everybody that, if one person gets this coronavirus, they could die, they won't survive, etc., etc., etc. So there were these so many fears entwined, so you start focusing on the present and
Mhm.
appreciating what you have. And I think, and carrying that forward, at the end of the day, you know what, I don't have a big house now, it doesn't even matter. No, and I think it just makes you, like you said, it makes you realize what really does matter.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about your childhood. Where was it and how was it? How was
Oh,
the
well,
child Musart?
well, oh gosh, you don't want to know. No, I'm
I
joking.
really want to
Um,
know.
no, I was born in Pakistan. I came here when I was one. My childhood, being the youngest of seven, was, well, I wouldn't say challenging, but there was, I think, because my parents were immigrants and they came from Pakistan. Watching them like to struggle in this country. My mom used to do two jobs. She was a childminder as well as sewing clothes on the side. And she tells me today, oh, at those days I used to make £400 a week, etc. I'm like, wow, that's amazing, and I never knew that's how much it was. um it just, I think it was just always what, we never ate from outside, takeaways. My mom would always buy us, not make, she never ever bought us clothes. The only thing she bought us was shoes, and she would sew our clothes for us. And I think when we were young, and if you wanted an outfit, I would just say, show mom, look, I want to have this outfit, and bless her, she would actually try to find the matching thing and make it for me. My parents are very, very strict. I wouldn't say my father was that strict, but mothers are always strict with the daughters, I'd say. But I think my mother was like that generally, because I think because my nanny was the same way, my grandmother. So it taught me late at the time. I was thinking, oh, why can't my mom be like other moms, who's very loving and compassionate, etc., etc. But as you grow older, you realize why they do that is just to teach you discipline and
Yeah.
understanding. So, like, that if, and I just feel if I didn't have that motivation and discipline, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like, I wouldn't say it makes thick-skinned, but I would say it makes you to understand and
Yeah, you understand
appreciate
where
things
it
better.
come from to them, you are more
You
understanding
stand
towards
up
your
for yourself.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but now she's more sensitive towards me, I think, because you're married and you have kids, and then we're more closer than ever. And then, but you realize when you hear their side that why they were the way they were, and you just, those grudges just disappear. So I think I used to love reading. I always wanted to be a writer when I was a little girl. I used to there. The connection's still okay?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Because you froze for a second.
Yeah, because my connection
I
is
think
a bit
writing.
unstable.
I That's fine. Anyway, sorry, you just froze for a second. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure if I
because
still
I
had
hope
could
they're
hear you
not
for a second.
trying to plug out.
I should be okay, inshallah.
Yeah, should
So
be.
I I loved reading. I still love reading as a child. That was my main source of I would say escapism, because there were 7 of us and you don't have your own room and stuff like that. So I used to just escape myself in a book. And I used to love writing short stories. And I had this dream of becoming an author one day, and alhamdulillah, I achieved that when I was 28, when I wrote my first book, Elena, which is a novel. Um, so yeah, it was, I would say I had a very good childhood, and the schools I went to were great. Alhamdulillah, touch wood, never had any bullying or whatsoever.
No, this is
But you
really
know,
great. Yeah. You never
yeah.
had that kind of experience. Yeah.
No. Alhamdulillah, I never did. So whenever I hear that, oh, you're from London, I lived in Brixton, you see, Brixton was a very gangster orientated city, known for that, but now it's very expensive. But my parents still live there. But the thing is, it was known as one of those things. And then when you hear people say, oh my God, you live in Brixton, have you not got any racism, etc., etc., etc. Alhamdulillah, never ever went through that. But I will tell you something funny about my childhood, though, was the fact that because I was the youngest of 5 brothers, I mean, a bit girl. So I get first, okay, I'm actually a boy. And that was only because obviously because I had 5 brothers.
Okay.
So I think that just gets into, but then later on, I was like realized, no, actually you are a girl. Don't worry. It's you know, you're the sister. You're not the brother. I was like, oh, okay. So,
Oh my
which
God.
is nice.
Yeah.
But
That's
alhamdulillah,
hilarious. But I've seen that. I've seen a lot
yeah,
of
because
such
I'm.
examples. Yeah. That kids, they learn to, some of them, they were even
Mm,
speaking in a boyish tone if they had elder brothers, and they just, behave like them. And then they
yeah.
grow up and realize that, okay, I am a girl.
No, because I've got actually the other day, actually, I was looking through some of my funny childhood pictures, and there's actually pictures of me in a shirt with short hair and trousers. And the funny thing is, my mom like made me dress that way. Just I don't know why, but I think she just thought okay. And I used to think I was a boy, and I think she used to just say, okay, fine, just you can wear jogging bottoms on the top. It's not a big issue, you know. But then later on, she would make sure I'd wear shalwar kameez and dresses, and I think that's where I got my identity back. That yeah, I'm a female, which is yeah.
So tell us, what are your favorite genre and the books? Like, I see there's a love of books in you since the beginning, and you love reading.
I think I don't know the genre of book now. Obviously, I love reading about self-development books and how to improve myself more and more each day. But I think lots of inspiration, like books that have a motivational end. I think
Mm.
I love motivational stories. Stories that will, stories that give you hope, stories that that change your mindset and make you realize, this is something that I can apply to my life, or this is something that I've seen in this person's life. And which is why I gathered my book of Your Story with Musart. It's got like 71 stories of inspiration from around the whole world. And this is something that I loved growing up into. I loved reading. I think lots of people probably like Khalid Hosseini. He's a wonderful writer, kite runner, and the way his books are, because they all, even though they're set in the refuge, like of
Yeah.
asylum and refuge and
I think he
um
was one of the first like Muslim author I read, because at the time it was
yeah,
all English books, and English authors set up in England, those kind of
yeah,
books. So that came as a breeze of fresh air, where you can relate with the characters, like you were seeing some Muslim characters with a Muslim name in the book,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, exactly.
so I could relate
Yeah,
at that
like
time very well with the book. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know if you've read Over a Thousand Splendid Suns, but
Yeah,
I
I
think
read
that's
it.
a
I read all
story.
his books actually.
Yeah, so that is one of my favorite. That's what inspired me to push me to become a writer. Like that I need to go out and actually write,
Mm.
and which is why I wrote my first book, Elena, which is about a little girl who has dyslexia set in Pakistan, and her whole life depends on her whole life has just been turned upside down. The fact that because she couldn't educate herself, just because of her learning disability, was misunderstood. Um, so he was my biggest inspiration at that time.
Do
And
you
also
have
I've
that book
also
with
like
you?
Elena, not with me right this moment,
Okay.
but
Just send
I
me the picture of the book, so I will put up in the trailer as well.
I will. So that book, I'll send you, if you give me your address, I'll send you a copy for free. Don't worry about that. I have loads of copies at
Thanks.
home, but they're not with me right now. But,
Thank
but
you.
Alhamdulillah, whoever has read that book, they've said we need a part two, we need a part two, because it has such a nice message. So it has a cliffhanger at the end. So inshallah, I'm like, no, let me just get it a bit more, a bit more like out there a bit more. Then I'll inshallah write part two. But it could be left as it is, or it could move on. But I have some ideas inshallah to pursue that, and so it ends up into a more motivational story.
That's great. And your second book that you
My
showed us.
second my second book is Your Story with Musart. This has over 71 amazing people from around the world who have shared their stories, from starting a business, from divorce, to not being able to get married, from being parents of disabled children, even people with rare skin diseases, which is one of my favorite stories in the book, fertility, and even possession. So, and how these people have overcome these battles of their life, and turned their life around, and in hopefulness. And I think and I just always tell people, it's literally got every single problem in there. I don't think there's a problem in there that you could never ever imagine. And it even has stories of people turning to Islam, how they found Islam. But my favorite book is obviously of those people who had rare illnesses and they moved on from that. I had a woman who was paralyzed. She couldn't walk, and the doctor said, "Oh, you would never ever be able to walk again." And mashallah, she did. With her faith and belief, she was walking again. There's another one, which is my favorite, Asya Shabir. She's known as a butterfly queen. She's been quite popular here as well. She's met lots of celebrities, but she has a rare skin disease, where her skin only has 7 layers internally and externally. And poor thing has to have so many bandages every day, just to and a morphine just to live through the day. But she's just still so grateful all the time of her life, because when she was born, the doctor said she wouldn't survive, and now she's mashallah 32. All because of her mother, of what she's put her, of the efforts that her mother put. So, and when I look at her, you realize, hang on a second, you would never thought that skin is such a big blessing, but it is, and we don't realize, and we take it for granted every single day. So if you can ask someone whose their skin is throwing up into blisters every day, the pain that they go through, you cannot even imagine it.
And then they're still grateful and happy person.
They're still grateful. Yeah, she's still grateful daily.
There's no resentment in them. There is no. And then you see how much your gratitude is lacking,
Yeah, you must interview her. I'll give you her link. She's absolutely amazing. And she's and whenever I'm feeling down, or like sometimes we feel like, oh, we want to have this and we haven't got it. I just turn around and just think of her, and I'm like, what, I am just being so ungrateful right now. Just look at her. She's still grateful, even though on a daily basis.
Yeah, her struggle is so high on a daily basis,
Yes, and what are we complaining about, really?
True. And how did you get this idea of the book, that, okay, you were interviewing all these people and you had the stories? How did you think that I should compile it in a book and put it out for everyone, to get it?
Well, basically, because I'm a TV host and I've been interviewing some of the people I've interviewed on my show. I used to have lots of emails and messaging people from abroad and say, oh, please, we want to be on your show. Is there a way that we can be on your show online? And I'm like, I'm sorry, with the channels that I'm working, we don't have this facility. But then I thought, hang on a second, there's people out there who don't even have access to a TV. So at least you'll have access to a book, or it could be digital or whatever. Everybody's got a phone. And they could read it, and hopefully they could just pick out a story and learn from it and apply it to their life. So I thought, okay, I just spoke to some people that I have on my platform, and mashallah, I had 71 people in the end who were willing to share their stories. So they all wrote their stories for me, and I edited them and put them in a book and got it published. Yeah, and put it in and published it worldwide. So now, mashallah, it's available digital, physical, hardback, softback, whatever you want.
And which platforms is it available?
Everywhere. If you just Google it, you can get it from Amazon, you can get it from Barnes and Noble, you can get it from Waterstones, you can get it from WH.
Because normally in Belgium, I order the books via bookdepository.com. So
that's where it is.
Okay. That's
there
great.
as well. Yeah. Mm.
And how was your publishing journey? It was okay, or did you
I
do a self?
self-published.
Okay.
Self-published, but I used a company that were absolutely amazing called Tellwell. They were absolutely amazing from the format of the book and how I liked it, the size and everything, and the texture of the book. So, but however, I used my own uh, a friend of mine who made the cover for me, who was
No,
part
the
of the
cover
book
is
as well.
amazing, mashallah. And I
Yeah,
was like,
so
okay,
that
I know her, I know her, I know her. I was looking at the people
so
I
I
knew.
wanted my initial actually idea was to get these people on I wanted their faces to be shown so they can have as much as coverage as possible, as much as people to recognize. And it's so nice to hear that from you, that you are recognizing these people, because at the end of each story I put their details and stuff like, so people can contact them physically and and say to them, look, I really want to speak to you, or how, or I want to work with you, which was my intentions, because I wanted to increase their barakah as well, because most of the people in here, they're all like amazing coaches, they are amazing business people, and I really wanted to give them barakah in their work as well, and say, look, I want people to contact them and say, look, I really want to order your product, or I really want to work with you, or XYZ, and how can you help me? So that was one of my main intentions.
That's amazing. And also, I want to know, like, where was your turning points in the life? Like, I see you are a coach, you are an author, you are a speaker, and you are also a TV host. So, which came first, and how did everything, fit
I
into
don't
the line?
I think I would say self-development came first. I think personally, I don't know if because you're training to be a coach as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us, I think everybody can be a coach and is a coach really, and I believe everybody's a teacher. At the time when I wanted to study more about myself, I obviously had psychology in my background, child psychology in my background. I was going through depression myself. I think it was just the overwhelmingness of just being married, and I think as Asian women, especially, or I shall say women, forget Asian women. I think we have so much expectations from us that we tend to forget ourselves. We're always giving and giving and giving and giving, that we totally forget our dreams, forget who we are, we forget our identity. And then when we are not given that back from our partners, or even our our family members, can become very overwhelming and depressing. So I was going through a very I would say emotional time with myself, that I wanted to start discovering myself about self-development. And that's when I started to study a bit more and more, and because I thought, I do not want to resort to tablets, I do not want to resort to antidepressant pills, and I used to get really anxious over little things. So I started to connect with myself and started to learn to love myself again. I didn't know that was a thing then. This was about I wouldn't say many years ago, I'm not that old, but I would say this about approximately, you could say, around 10 years ago, or yeah, 10 to 9 years ago. I can't really put a number on it, but I think something just hit me when I learned for the fact that we need to love ourselves. Once we love ourselves, that's when we can give more love to others. And I just thought, that's just rubbish. Like, how can that's just being selfish? Because I think we are, we're given the fact, we're portrayed in the fact, oh, if you love yourself, you're being very what's
Selfish.
the word, you're being very selfish. There's another
Yeah,
word, you're
you are
being very vain.
self-absorbed, you are.
Yes, yeah, you're very vain and stuff. But actually, there's different types of love. Actually, you can love yourself in a way that you're appreciating yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you're grateful for the fact that He's given you this
Yeah.
body. He's given you this body, this mind, this thing, and what are we doing with it? Then I realized, hang on a second, we all have a gift. And I always say this, and I believe it with the bottom of my heart. Every single human being in this world has a special gift that they're meant to leave in this world. um, and that is your purpose. Yes, your purpose is to worship the Lord, and obviously how we are going to be answerable to Him when you're Muslim. This is what we have our beliefs in. But I believe we all have a sole purpose in this world that is meant to be for other people. My purpose could
Yeah.
be like how we're connecting. It could be even something small. You could be just going around smiling at people, and making somebody feel better. That could just be your purpose. It doesn't have to be something huge. But I just realized, hang on a second, I've got a purpose, and I had it in me. And lots of people used to say, I love talking to you, make me feel better. You always know what to say, you're very empathetic, you feel what I'm feeling. So I just started to get more information on that, and start educating myself, and just working with people, and then doing small events. I think I started out by doing events first. I started my event in Norway, which was with the Asian Society, which you must imagine must have been very challenging, because they do not believe in the concept of anxiety and depression. Just to think, oh, you're meant to worry. That's what we're here for. But I think as soon as you put it in there that no, you're not meant to worry, it's like a big brain shock to them, because they're like, no, 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 you have to worry. We have to worry about our children. We have to worry about our family, blah, blah, blah. But actually, when we look at Islam and its core values, worrying is not meant to be there. You're meant to have so much hopefulness on a daily
that
basis.
tawakkul and that yaqeen has to be there.
Exactly.
And then you have to put your trust in your creator, that he will provide for you and he will take care of your business.
Exactly. Yeah, and also now media, that they say, in Urdu, I said now media is kufr, like basically being unhopeful is you're denying your creator. So this is something that I just wanted to elaborate, and alhamdulillah, it went really well. I started working with the couples, people on a one-to-one, professionals, and then I think along the way I got the offer of working as having my own show, and that's where I thought, okay, I really want to like I told you about how I believe that everybody has their own gift, and I just wanted to share everybody's gifts to the world and say, look, this is their gift and this is what they want to bring you, and if you can take away something from that today, great. And that's always been my intention. So even if when I was doing events or shows, even if it affects one person, it makes a change to one person, my job is done. And I hold this belief on a daily basis that if I can make one little ripple effect with somebody's life, or even to myself, I've done something well for the day. So that was the intention. So then after that, the writing came. Actually, the writing started first. I wrote Elena first, because I think that was my escape from depression, to be honest, because we had lost some very close family members at the time. My the young brother-in-laws died, so I started to write, and that was my escapism. I think writing really helped me to overcome my depression and anxiety, and then from there on, step by step, I went from doing the speaking and then the coaching, and then the shows, and then getting awarded for an inspirational speaker, and then obviously pandemic happened. So.
I think pandemic also happened for a reason, that it wanted everyone to slow down. It changes the course of the world. It's like a disruptor. So what happened, what was normal before is no more normal. Now this is normal. And look, you and me talking on this show is, it's a pandemic baby, my show. It bloomed in the pandemic. I had this idea, and then I started connecting with women. I never had this idea. I always wanted to do something, but I limited myself in my mind that I'm in Belgium. What can I do from here? The language is different of this country, reaching out to common people and how to reach out to people I want to. But then I saw Zoom, it linked everyone. And then everyone was talking over Zoom and connecting and doing meetings and things. It showed a way that it's possible, there is another way possible. And people are interested in online tools also. So that's completely okay. Because earlier a talk show was always one-to-one next to each other. But now people accepted it, that it's okay, online, it's a normal thing now.
Yeah. And I think also I think the pandemic also has taught us there's no excuses anymore.
No excuses anymore, yeah.
If you want to write, you can write. If you want to have a show, you can have a show. You can if you want to have a podcast, you can have a podcast. You don't have to be anywhere physically anymore. Everything is digital now, like you said. So and I think that is a biggest lesson to all of us, that creativity can go on so many levels now.
Yeah, you are not limited by that physical thing, that you can still connect with the technology and do what you want to do.
Exactly.
So I wish you all the best for what you're doing. You're already so motivating and inspirational, mashallah. Do you have a message for the viewers and the readers of your book?
Well, my message will first be is please buy the book. Okay.
I will do that.
Please buy the book.
Can you lift it a bit higher? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on sale right now actually on Amazon.
Wow.
It's about £3 now, and I think it's even cheaper if you get it, so you can download it straight away. And alhamdulillah, lots of people have come back to me and said they read it in one setting, and they were just, and the best thing that I heard from them was to say, oh, this is something that I needed today. They picked up the book and they read it in one sitting and said, oh my god, this is something that I needed today. So go out there and buy it. That's my first first message. But my second message today is to tell everybody, look, whatever you're going through, whatever it is, everything will always be okay. Never ever carry yesterday into today. Whatever happened yesterday, there's always a solution to everything. Soon as you start connecting with yourself, soon as you start relaxing and believing in yourself, trust me, things will happen. They're meant to happen. And if you can start going around taking mistakes, learning the lessons from those mistakes, trust me, you're on the right road to recovery. Don't start spewing over the past that, oh my God, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. Just forget it all and just focus on what you want, and trust me, it will be yours. That's my message for today.
Oh, it's a wonderful message, what a lovely message. So thank you so much, Musart, for your time and that you came and you shared your books with us. I only knew about one book, and then the second one book is also very interesting. I have some people like I'm connected with who had learning disabilities, and they didn't know. They came to know in their
Oh,
later
wow.
year of the life. So maybe this book will help them and they can see themselves, in that character. So I will put that both the books out in the trailer, and I
Thank
will
you
put
so
out
much.
the
I'll
message.
send that to you.
And you were always an inspiration for me. I was, whenever I saw you somewhere, I was like,
Oh,
oh
you're so
wow,
sweet. You're a big
I have to
inspiration to
talk
me
to you.
because you've actually gone out and, like you said, you've made this pandemic baby and you've overcome, and it's not easy being online. I think the biggest thing about being online, I think our fear is we're so scared of the criticism that we're going to get. And I think that really pushes us behind, like, oh my God, what are people going to say? What are people going to think? And those keyboard warriors just put you off. So all I'm going to say is hats off to you for well done for believing in yourself and continuing this. And you know what, you don't understand how many people you're touching. So like I said at the beginning, or like even if you touch one person, you've done a great job. So hats off to you.